Hello, designers. This is Rebecca, and this is your assignment for user interface or package design critique. For this critique, I will first critique the user interface submissions, and then I will critique the package submissions. So for this one, you were supposed to develop either a user interface design or packaging design for your business. For the UI design, you were to create a website for mobile devices that included a home page for a tablet and a smartphone, and as both of them for vertical orientation. You were to include digital wireframes, and you were to include digital layouts with actual content, including the logo, text, and imagery with color and type decisions. And then all of the requirement elements are a site ID, logo or symbol, and title, navigation buttons, search box, color, typography, imagery, icons, contact information, and copyright. So let's go ahead and see what you submitted. Next up is Derek. And here are Derek's sketches, one for the phone and tablet. Great. Here are the wireframes. Very nice. Perfect. And the final layout. Oh, it looks so good. So for the cell phone, um, I'm seeing all the things that are required. I like your large call to action to get tickets. So there is just, I think that this text right here is going to get lost. It's really, really tiny. So I'm wondering if maybe instead you could, sort of treat this like a carousel where you have images, three different images of your character on three different slides, and then you're able to put one quote on each slide, um, much larger, and it will kind of, scroll through automatically. But yeah, that does need to be bigger. And I think this is okay down here, the size of that text. And then the tablet looks fantastic. I like how you treated your menu up there. I don't see a menu on the cell phone layout. So you may want to just throw in a little hamburger menu in the corner. Oh, I'm sorry. It's right here on along the bottom. Sorry about that. Okay, great. Great. Okay. Yeah, so let me just zoom out a bit. This is about the size, I don't know, maybe halfway between this size and this size. So I do recommend, yeah, that text is a bit too small, but everything else is fantastic. I love the pattern that you created for in the background of your header. The colors all look really good. These are really clever, these little cogs around the social. I love that. Really nice. So if your menu is like sticky, meaning it stays in the same place, um, having it along the bottom would be okay, but I do think it needs to be above your copyright information. Uh, and you may consider just moving the menu up here and then having all your socials and, this whole section bumped down. Generally, I don't recommend having social links on your home screen because you want to keep them on your site as long as possible. As soon as they click on that social link, they've left your site and you have less control over, guiding them through the info and getting them to do what you want them to do. Like buying tickets is a lot more valuable to your company than, following you on social media. So well, I guess that's debatable, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, I do think that you should, move your menu up and put the rest of the info on the footer as well. And then this is fine because this is your footer. There's the menus at the top. Great photography or, AI imagery. I think it turned out really nice. Looks really cool. I love seeing the elements of the poster in there. And like your frame around your image is really neat. Everything's cool. I love when a subject breaks the frame. I think that's a really cool effect. I love it. Really nice work. Good mock-ups. Great work, Derek. Thank you. Next up is Nathan. All right. So this I think is the laptop, I'm sorry, the tablet. Um, it's just like a continuous scrolling page, it looks like, which is cool. I'm just gonna keep going through. Okay, let me zoom out. Maybe I'm wrong here. Okay, here we go. Sorry, sometimes the computer just is like doesn't know how to handle things. Or it's also probably my user error as well. Okay, so this looks great. This is easier for me to see what's happening. Really nice. Great job showing me your menu. Yeah, I think that'll work out really nicely. The text is small, but I think it would be fine on a tablet. I think it's just looking small, because they're side by side here. So we have to, limit the size of them to have them all fit on the slide together. But it's really pretty. It's really neat. I like how the figure, like melts into your background color is really nice. So what I think that you could do is if you revisit your poster and some of your other designs, like maybe your mailer and things, um, I have a feeling that you had some more unique and intricate borders on things. And here we're just having plain rectangles and then rounded corner rectangles. And I think that you could be a little more ornate and creative with those. Like this is your opportunity to make that happen. Um, Essentially, when we're making graphics for a website, they're all just squares and rectangles, but you just kind of fake that by making the background color of that graphic the same as the background color on your site and adding, interesting shapes or creating interesting shapes within that rectangle to make it appear like it's not just a grid of rectangles, if that makes sense. So all the fonts look great. I mean, the whole thing is like 3 colors, which is pretty impressive. It's not easy to do on a website layout, so that's really great. And yeah, I think it looks good. I don't see a search bar. Just looking. I don't see one, so just put a little like a magnifying glass icon in your menu, or put a search option in your menu here, and I'll be satisfied with that. I may have said in your sketch that you didn't need a search bar, but I'm sorry, it's a requirement for the assignment. I don't know what I was thinking when I said that. Great, I love these accordions. These are cool, really nice. I got some nice text field or, forms. That looks great too. So it's very well thought out, very thorough. You did more work than you needed to. And I mean, it's really wonderful, really nice. I think you could do a little, like these big arrows here. I don't think they need to be quite so like, thick and large, but I think that you could, and maybe you could even find like a cool little, Victorian kind of arrowhead, like some sort of shape that will mimic that, just to bring that style in even more. But your fonts all look really great, and I love the images so much. So now this is the cell phone one, very pretty. It's lovely, really nice. This might be a little small, so might need to bump that up a little bit. Is that the same size? Yeah. So this is a better size here. I recommend making this the same size as this body text over here and just keeping that consistent through the whole site. It's pretty. Really nice. That's cool. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. Yeah, good call to action. Really nice. This is fantastic. Looks good. Really good. Another call to action. Yes, great. This is getting small. You have room since it's just a like kind of a continuous scroll. Don't be afraid to make it bigger. This is also getting smaller. So we're starting to lose some of our paragraph styles. Just set those paragraph styles and make them the same, like apply them to all the text so that you don't run into that. If you wanted, like for example, if this was larger and you wanted it to only be 2 lines, then um, change your wording, since you're writing the copy, take a word or two out of there to keep it small. This is way too small for this site, for the phone version. So these could kind of be like a carousel where you have one or two of these and they scroll through. So if you wanted to, you could have one and then you could have two of those little arrows on each side showing that, you can scroll through to read the different testimonials. Or this text is also getting small. So set your header 3 sizes and your 2 body copy sizes, and then make sure you apply it to everything. So let me just look at this real fast. All right, so buy tickets, this text is larger than your title of your website. Do you see that? Um, and it shouldn't be. It should be, it should be smaller, but I would make it at least, at the most the same size as your title there. Then this one right here could be your header 2, or I'm sorry, this would be your header 1. This would be title and then header 1. This would be body copy size, body paragraph, and I would call that body paragraph white. This will be header 1, so no other header should be larger than that besides the title. But now we have a bigger one down here, so that's confusing. This should be smaller, or it could be the same size, same height. So they might actually be the same size. It's just that this is a smaller font in general. So yeah. Okay, header 1. I think this should be a header 2. This should technically be a header 2, but it's not. So, okay, and then this should all be the same size as this body copy. These will be header 3. This is a button, so that's going to be the same size as your buy tickets text. This will be the same as what's on the front page, the home page, or above the scroll. This all of a sudden is a new size. See how we're jumping all around? The information hierarchy needs to be dialed in a bit, okay? This will be the same size as your body paragraph white text. And then this paragraph text will be body paragraph blue text, if that's blue. I think it is, yeah. So it'll be the same, all exactly the same as this copy, except a different color. That's the only difference there. And then these will be header 2 or 3. This is a header 1. I'm fine with leaving the field texts as they are, field fonts the same, or field styles as they are. And then this needs to be as large as your body paragraph blue copy, okay? And then this button needs to be the same size as the other buttons, or the text on it needs to be the same size, okay? All right, great. Thank you so much. Next up is Stephanie. Great, so we have our wireframe, perfect. Next we have the iPad final. Very pretty. Wonderful photos, great finds. Cool, okay, I'm just gonna keep going. Now we have the cell phone wireframes, then these. Okay. Oh, you even made a MacBook website. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, so we don't have any mock-ups. Okay, so let's look at the iPad one first. So I think it's cool that you're like heavily just letting the photos shine and do all the heavy lifting, because they're great photos and it's going to look really cool on on a screen. This menu here, I think we could use a different colored background. to make it stand out a bit, whether it's the gold or the one of the blues, you know. Um, or it could even be a white background with the dark blue text on it, that kind of thing. And then um, this is looking fine. That looks good. Yeah, yeah, that all looks great. I am losing the caravan, so you might want to consider putting like a very subtle glow behind it, a very subtle white glow or gold glow, just like super low, 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 like turn it way low, just enough to get it to pop out from the background. Like the Celestial looks fantastic. It has that gorgeous white drop shadow. You could put a white drop shadow between behind the and Caravan as well. It's really this one that it's getting lost, but whatever you do to this one, I would do it to all of them. It doesn't get lost over here. It looks nice. I think that looks great. Then where it says discover our shows, book your tickets. I'm thinking that you may want to kind of center that and have this all be on one line, like you have this text here, and then have these little arrows like down here, like this. And you can scroll along that way. Usually the arrows are not above the pictures, it might be below and centered, but usually they're kind of on the sides like this of the images. But that looks cool. I think everything else is good. I do recommend dropping the word for down on the line with you so that you is not an orphan there. Looks good. I see your hamburger menu. Looks great. Great. So, I mean, more stuff could be happening. There is only one call to action. We need another call to action. These socials do not need to be so prominent. They can go down in your footer below. I don't know why we need a second logo, you know. I guess it's a different style. But there's nothing about like I just don't really understand like what this section is for. Because I just don't know. I think it's just a photo, but I think that it might be cool to have like a maybe a section about buying merch or something, or maybe this is a video, you know. If this is a video, that'd be cool. You could just, even if it's not right, but you could just put like a little playhead video icon on top of it to make it look like that's what it is, because you have a videos section. That's where I'm getting that from. Or a social proof section is really good to have on your homepage as well. Okay, not required, but it is. I'm just trying to help you kind of fill that out a little bit. So then, good. So we've seemed to have lost. Oh, okay. Here's our buy tickets button. Mm, I say go ahead and put another big buy tickets button down here at the bottom of this screen, this one page here. And then I do recommend this could say discover our shows, and you can wrap book your tickets like you had it on the tablet, and then putting these arrows down here next to it or right below and centered. And then whenever you change on the tablet version for this section, go ahead and change that here. This section is just a bit dead. The only thing it's doing is driving people away from your website, and that's not what you want. You want to keep them on the website as long as possible so that you have control over their next steps. And giving them links to leave your site immediately on your first page is not ideal for keeping them on the site. Okay, great. And then we just need some mock-ups. Okay, this looks really nice. So this is like this version seems like this is what the website was originally designed for, you know? And so since you have this part centered on your home page, I do recommend centering this header. Um, and then like you don't have to do this extra stuff, but if you want it for your portfolio, you just want to make all three of them look consistent. All right. Thank you. Next up is Deanna. This is cool. This almost looks like a movie poster. It's such a great photo. I like the large logo. We've got our search field up there and our um, big call to action button. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. Great. Then we have a little merch section. Okay, this is neat. Cool. I like that. Great. All right. And then we have our mock-ups. Great. Okay. And now I think this looks a little wider. So this is the tablet versions. I'm going to zoom in on this page here. If it'll let me. Just be cool, Acrobat. Okay, there we go. Great. So these are the mock-ups for here. Nice. Okay. Great. And then we have our good, good, good. Good job there. Good. Okay, let's go on. Up to the tippy top. Meow, 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 meow. Bear with me as I scroll. Okay. All right. So with this one, um, so part of the reasons why this looks like a movie poster is because we have all this little fine print at the bottom. On a cell phone, it's going to be completely illegible. And so, yeah, let me just see what it says and if it's something that we, that is a really hefty copyright message. I think that you could just leave it with all rights reserved, and for, just for the website. And then your social icons can be a little bit bigger. Let me zoom out. So the okay, so I notice that you don't have your menu that you have on all the other pages on your home page, and it is important to have the same menu on all of the pages. So these pages are this menu is really tiny for a cell phone. So you could reduce the size of this search bar and just have a hamburger menu here. And then when it pops out, have larger options, have these options much larger to choose from, a little list there. Um, and then with your buttons and all of your borders, we have like a very round button. And with your posters and your mailer and stuff, you used some more really cool kind of intricate framing and extra elements and stuff, and on your signage as well. So I recommend, bringing that into here for your buttons. You don't necessarily need to do it on the search bar, but the buttons can just be a little bit cooler and more intricate. They could be a different shape, or, more unique shape. It doesn't just need to be the, kind of pill shape. And then same goes with these images here. Um, all of these should be the same dimensions. So if that means that you have to, make them all into a square or whatever, and then just add extra white around the edges, where you need to make it wider or taller, then do that. But all four of those for this screen should be the same dimensions. We don't want like a shorter thumbnail versus a taller thumbnail there. This one's like a wider thumbnail than this one. And whatever you do to those buttons, you can do that for these borders, the borders on your thumbnails as well. You can make these like a really cool little intricate, give them kind of a frame, something kind of cool. So that just means that you might need to reduce the scale of how these shirts and this merch fits inside of the, your white square rectangle. And that's okay. Just giving it a little bit of a margin is totally fine, okay? Then, or even cropping in big, closer, so that you can see the design even more, whichever you'd like to do. So I do have to say that $1.50 for a t-shirt or a hoodie is pretty awesome. You might want to change those prices though. And then, so with this one, so on all these pages, we would get rid of this menu up here. You just would have your hamburger menu. You'd have your heading be identical on all of these screens. This part is cool. I love this feature on your site. You can, whatever you do to the buttons and the frames of your thumbnails, you can kind of do to this section too, just going beyond the rounded borders of a rectangle. I do appreciate that all the fonts are consistent. Um, and I love this background. I think it's really fun. I love the texture in it as well. You may want to nudge this logo down a little bit. I just noticed that it's pretty tight up here. Um, and then same with the form fields. You could make these an even more fun kind of shape with some ornate things on it. You can just really go crazy. All right, and then uh, you'll just update your mock-ups there. Okay, I was going to see how this fit up in here, and that looks good. Okay. Doo doo. Um, all right, so for this one, okay, so you already have like the side menu figured out, so that would be easy to implement on your cell phone screens. And I do recommend left aligning these instead of center aligning them. It'll look a little cleaner. You want to give yourself a little bit more margin to the left of the word merchandise. That's the longest word there. So yeah, let this red side stick out a little bit further. Then you can even reduce the font size of that menu if you need to, okay? So then whatever you do to the cell phone, like with your footer here and your header, well, you don't need to do it to the header. With your footer, like your copyright thing, just make sure you do that to this site as well, this design. And then whatever you do to your thumbnails, make sure you apply that to these here. This is great seeing even more merch on this one. I really appreciate that. And one more time, whatever you do to your cell phone screen with this section, apply that here as well. Okay, excellent. Great, thank you so much. Next up is Riley. Great. Okay. So this is the tablet version. Excellent. And this is the cell phone version. All right, so we went with the horizontal layout here. Okay, let me go on back. So I think that we just have a little bit of information hierarchy things that we need to get fine-tuned. I love the color palette. I love that we've got these like fun places to jump to here. I don't see a clear call to action on this homepage, and that needs to be done. So let's start at the tippy top. All right. So the menu can be much smaller font. Right now, it's larger than this menu, if not the same size. I think it's a little bit larger. And it looks like it might be about this size here. And it shouldn't be. It should be much smaller. So I do recommend shrinking that down. And then if you have a more horizontal version of this logo, you could go with that. But if you don't, that's fine. Then um, this is cool, but I just don't know why it's like so large because it's not really um, it doesn't really have like a lot of a purpose. It's like a awesome illustration, but it's not like a button, I don't think, that we could click on to take action. You know what I mean? Uh, this is a cool little intro. I'm totally down with that. Um, I think uh, we need some, we need a call to action that's like prominent and big and like, hey, click here and give us some money. All right. Now down here we have our story, um, which I don't see being a link up here anywhere, like an about link. I have a feeling that's where this would go. Um, and then fortune readings, performers, merchandise, show info. We have a performers, a fortune readings, and a merchandise, but we don't have any of that info up here in the ticket in the menu either. So we just want to make sure that they don't always have to come back to the home page if they want to visit one of these four things, that they can access it from any page using the main navigation menu. Okay, then these should all be the same size font as this here, instead of smaller. Then this is fine having your little header down here, but also in the, I'm sorry, not header, footer, having your copyright information in the footer, that's cool. But consider also having some of your contact information down here. Even though you have a contact section, that's great. But you could have like the box office number, the theater address, that kind of thing. That can always live in your footer. That's where people go to find that. Then on this site, um, I like that the logo is larger. Whatever navigation you add to your menu in the other screen, add it to here as well. And these menu items can be much smaller. I would say, not any smaller than your body copy here, because you're like this copy down here is way too small. Okay. We don't have any social stuff on the other screen, which is fine by me. I'm not a fan of having social on the home screen in general, but you have room in your footer. A footer is a good place for the socials to live. I recommend follow us for more updates being on the left, and then all the socials being together. And then whatever contact info you add to your footer on the other screen, add it to here. Make it large enough so that people can read it. So, the copyright can be small print, but the contact info should be about the size of the body copy, maybe 1 or 2 points smaller. Then change all of your fonts headers for each of these options to be the same size and style. And yeah, that's it. So I see this awesome picture here, and I don't see it on here. Oh, there it is, show info. Okay, okay, never mind. Great. Okay. So you want to make sure that you get a huge button right here that says like buy tickets or something, we need a call to action right away on that home page. Then as far as design goes, you have all these cool little curly cues and stuff, and your signs were very intricate for that assignment, as well as like your poster had some cool little intricate details and stuff. And you could apply those as like a little frame around each of these thumbnails just to make the thumbnails more Victorian and give them a little extra flavor. It doesn't have to just be very simplified rectangles and squares, okay? Great. All right. And then I just don't see the other mock-ups, okay? Thank you. Not mock-ups, I meant wireframes. All right. Next up is India. Let me zoom out here. Great. So here's our wireframe. Excellent. Great. I'm going to connect to that. Lovely. And for the phone. Okay, cool. Easy peasy. So uh, we have our call to action right here, our nav. This is fun. Scroll to learn more. Great. All right. So this this design is fairly sparse. which I don't have a problem with that. Like I like, um, negative space and stuff. I think that there are just a few things that we can do though to tighten it up a little bit. So the I think the menu is okay where it is. I think buy tickets could be larger text, and with all of the shapes of these elements in your site, you can do so much more than rounded corner rectangles or pill-shaped buttons. So look at your framing around your logo. You can apply that around these sections or around these buttons here. You could revisit your posters or your signage, see if there's elements from those that you could plug in here. I love seeing this here. This makes me so happy. Um, I would recommend just making these larger. People love seeing photos on websites. So go ahead and just take advantage of that and make them as wide as you can or large as you can. And this is all good down here. You could include your contact info down here too, like the box office phone number, the address to the theater, that kind of stuff. It can be included in your footer, any kind of open hours for the box office, etc. For the, yeah, I think that's good. So I love like these little curly cues. I love this font. All the fonts are good. Like um, the information hierarchy is good. Uh, yeah, so I think just changing the shapes from uh, the pill shapes and the rounded corner rectangles. Not that there's anything wrong with those, just that like you could be more creative with those because and have a more Victorian flair to those shapes by incorporating, changes to the framing, intricate little, filigree, that kind of stuff. Okay, excellent. All right, then that's good. Okay, great, great. So here we have some extra text that you didn't include on the home page. And it could, you could totally do that. Like you have room. So you could put uncanny performances and then a little something and then extraordinary spectacles. So it's all one line. You could leave this little thing underneath it and then you could make these even larger, or bump them up and have your little blurbs under each one. Like blurb meaning this step into our world of marvelous acts, that kind of stuff. And whatever you do to your framing, whatever you add to your framing or how you change them on the um, tablet site design, go ahead and do that here as well. But this all looks good. I like that. I think buy tickets could be larger because that is our call to action. So I liked it that it was large on the other site design. So make it large on the phone site design as well. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Oh, yep. And everyone else turned in package design, so you can watch part two for the package design critique.